Okay, so here we are. We're going to look at Ryan Upchurch's, I think it's Ryan Upchurch Fans, the guy that does that on YouTube. I'll put a link in the description. We're going to look at a couple of things, talk about...
This video, can we film it? He's like, yup. Ain't nobody working this much. I know they're not. I know they're not.
I don't know how he keeps that energy level up. It worries me, it concerns me. I don't know how he does it.
Y'all asleep? Well, good.
Good.
We still working.
Good for you. Leave me alone. Sleep. That was a killer.
Talk
it was
about
a killer
timeless
tuck jacket. That was cool. It looked really nice.
Look, I look all professional and dressed up. Then I'm like, hey, you guys who ain't down Call of Duty.
Mom. You know something? Hi, see you show up anytime. Okay, this is something I want to talk about. It just wears me out watching them. It makes me a little seasick too, Brian, so I'm just saying.
Told you it don't matter what time. Y'all thought I wasn't coming.
Do you see my MommaLiz face? Okay. This is something that I think I want to take a minute to discuss. And I'm not doling out medical advice. I'm not billing anybody's insurance. I'm not counseling. I no longer do that. I'm at home. I am disabled. I'm half crippled. And I just see things that concern me. And for some reason, Ryan watches my videos, which, yay, woohoo. I'm not monetized. I will never monetize. I will not ever make $1 off this. Even if I get to where I have enough people to monetize my channel, it will not happen because that's not why I started this. I started this because I care. I'm Creeksquad for life, and I care. And so when I saw him do this, not gonna lie, I'm just going to talk to Ryan. Ryan, it pissed me off. I mean, 6 ways to Sunday, because you then hold yourself accountable to your fan base who has hang on. Your fans, we love you. We want the best for you. We love that you integrate us into your life as much as you do. But let me tell you something you don't do, son. You don't hand the keys of the kingdom to the fans and say, here, you may hold me accountable, because you want to know what happens after that. Some little 16, 17-year-old girl who's smitten with you, bless your heart. This comes from an almost 43-year-old woman who has dealt with some of the more loosely put together models in the human condition. They get up and they think that they actually do get to hold you accountable to go to the gym and to do all these things. They think, oh, this is my job. I can bash him on social media and this is our thing. Like, oh my God, I got this thing. Oh my God. And yeah, I'm sorry. It sounds like I'm degrading the modern day youth. But you know something? Y'all are kind of stupid. I'd like to shake you till you rattle, but I'm not sure you got anything in there to rattle sometimes. So it kind of irritates me to see you hand over this power to your fans, because number one, your fans should buy your albums, should respect your work and you as an artist. They should pay to come see you, and they should appreciate your work and authenticity, but they should not have any control over your daily routine whatsoever, because that creates a hierarchy where you are not on top. And let me tell you what, I don't know if you paid attention, but you know something, you kind of built this little empire since you were a teeny bopper. And so you're kind of just a little bit special according to, like how you graded up with most people in the world. And you kind of don't need to give stupid people the control of someone who is quite possibly a lyrical mastermind. That's like the brain letting Pinky actually take over the world. You just don't do those things. Stop it.
Nah.
Go to the gym. We're glad you go to the gym.
Pass out.
But stop it.
Yeah, I'll pass out.
Yeah, I'm just confessing. Butterflies, they suck. I hate them. They make muscles hurt that you don't know. And I had to do them the old way when you lay back and you're got the weights and the free weights. Sucks. Okay. Let this catch up with me. Still on the treadmill. I'm glad you're at the gym. I'm glad you're doing these things. It's great. It's wonderful.
I just kept on running.
You just keep on running, Jimmy. Going after peas and carrots. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. Where, accountability, and then he does this. This is what really ticked me off.
Here's where I've been sleeping. Couch. But hey, it's comfortable. It is what it is.
No. Okay. Let's just stop. Let's just stop. This is going to be a MommaLiz rant, and this is not me ranting to Ryan Upchurch. This is to anyone that owns a home, that has bought a home, that has furnished a home, that maintains a home. Unless your bed is broken, not been shipped because you've replaced it, your mattress is being shipped and didn't get in that day, and you threw the old one out, or your house is being renovated, then your behind should be in your bed because you paid for that home. You provided that home. In that home, as I say in my home, hello, I'm Jesus. What Nova Rockefeller has a song out that says, I'm Queen Elizabeth and everywhere's my castle. I fly by that mantra solidly in my home. My home is church, and when I'm in it, I'm Jesus. Nova Rockefeller nailed it for me on that one. But here's the thing. The hierarchy at your house is you're the top dog. You paid for all of that. You provided all of that. And you know something? You get rewarded by using the amenities that are the most precious, which are getting your sleep and all that. You don't let anyone out you out of your bed. I don't care how nice and kind-hearted you are. There's a place where you have to stop and say, okay, you want to know something? This is too much. This is somebody expecting too much of me, because I've been through bad relationships. I had a first marriage that ended. I mean, like, I'm not going to lie. This sounds really funny, but I'm not going to lie. It took him 3 days of meeting a temp agency secretary to replace me and 2 toddlers. So if that don't tell you what some kind of sorry he was, I've got other stories. Like, and everybody's like, oh, you came out of that really, really easy, Elizabeth. Well, something, growing up with coonhounds, I wouldn't own a dog that would run trash. I was going to have a man that would. So see you later, I may not be the prettiest girl in the world, but I'm a pretty stylish heifer, I do believe so. So I'll be okay. I'll find me somebody else. And I've been almost married for 20 years now. So it all worked out great. Never in my life would I have offered my bed to anybody after a relationship. And there were a couple nights that my ex-husband had to stay at the house until he got himself situated with his new little romance. And I did not say no because of the children. It was good for the kids to be able to see him. But he did not sleep in my bed. He did not take my bed away from me. And he knew that when he came in that door, it went Jesus, Elizabeth, and then on down. And he was probably closer to the bottom than he thought. Now, I'm not saying you have to be an absolute turd, but you should know your own worth and hold your own worth. And when you understand what's going on, even when the world is crumbling around you, you can still stand up and say, I know my own worth. I get to sleep in my own bed. Sorry about your luck, but I bought this house, paid for this house, and you need to go make sure that you're taking care of you, because now that you're no longer under my umbrella of people that I care for, you're on your own, and that's my mattress. And that's not being mean. That's not being mean. It's being real. Because you're making the big bucks, you get to sleep in a big bed. Don't ever discredit yourself like that. Do not ever. That's basically like another dog walking up to another, just flipping on his back and peeing in the air and saying, there, you got me. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Know your worth.
But anyways,
and that's everybody. Everybody.
I'm about to get my day started.
Well, I'm happy for you. So he does this. He's like, yeah, I'm single.
Not looking for a relationship. I'm focused on my music and my career, and I'm focused on bettering myself.
That's great.
Right now. That's what I'm focused on. So there is your solid answer.
Awesome. But right before that, he basically said, I'm in a relationship with my career. And 99% of what you just said, I'm like, woohoo, if I had pom-poms and was able, I would totally, do a little cheer. One thing. He said, right now I'm in a relationship with my career and my music, and however you said, I'm paraphrasing. Be careful. Be careful about your words, because your words become your thoughts become your words, and your words become your actions. Be careful. Because if you start thinking like that and you start discrediting love and relationships altogether, then you will take away from yourself the most prized possession that you will ever find in life, which is love from a pure heart, from a pure place that is authentic. That is something that will change your life and make your life worth every hardship and every bad day and every bump in the road. I'm telling you this as someone who had a horrible first marriage, had to have 2 children. I'd raised them on my own. He never paid child support. He never showed up. He never did anything. And I thought that I was just going to have to cut toxic men out of my world completely. It was just like, see y'all later. Peace off. And, I can do the whole mom and dad thing on my own. I'm tomboy. We'll be good. And then as soon as I tried to vote all the men off the island, Jesus put one right smack in front of me. His sense of timing and his sense of humor. We're going to have a talk about that one day. But I was very lucky that he did, because when I was at my most arrogant was when I was really able to see what he had done. And I had to go, that was funny. We're going to have to talk about that later. But I was able to kind of look at and understand that if I don't take this chance, I will never be able to take another one. And I will never find the love that I know is out there for me. And I took that chance. And if you talk yourself out of it, if you put yourself into these fictitious relationships with your work and other things, and you hyper-focus in other areas to not have to worry about that one, then you're going to allow a lot of happiness and opportunities to go around you, and not deposit the happiness that they could have placed there. Whether it's long-term or short-term, there's still happiness, and there's still lessons to be learned. So don't discredit, don't say I'm not, don't lock those opportunities out, don't put your mind in that place where you say I'm not even looking, always be aware that while a career and money and financial stability and security is a great thing, it is a great thing. I've never known it. I have to count the change in my head when I go to the grocery store. Happiness for me, like financial security for me would probably be like not having to use the calculator in my head when I buy groceries. But I have to say that because I didn't shut my mind off to love, I gained a great marriage. I gained a man that came into my life and adopted my children and made me happy and made me feel secure and made me know that I'm safe, I'm loved, I'm supported. And no matter what stupid antic I do or how absolutely disabled my body goes, and it's going fast lately, I know that I have this other heart in tow with me through life. And that is worth more than anything I have ever experienced in life. So don't talk yourself out of. Don't put yourself in relationships where you close the door on real life and real happiness and real love and real adventures and real emotions. Because the thing that you miss while you're angry in this hyper-aggressive control mode, it may be the thing that all that previous stuff had prepped you for, but you would shut yourself down to it. So stay open, stay receptive, and don't talk yourself out of happiness and love. People do it every day. It's the easiest thing to do, is to talk yourself out of good things. Why? Because good things scare people. Because when things are good, people feel like they're on targets. But you know something? It doesn't have to be that way. When things are good, things are just good. You're getting a blessing from somebody. Accept it and go on. Don't talk yourself out of blessings. I believe it's like hiccups. When you try to stop one, you create a worse issue. Just hiccup and fall in love. It's a lot easier. At the same time, screen your women. Do you want me to screen your women? Do you want me to do background service? Do you want me to do a questionnaire to catch issues? Totally will. Totally random. I'll be like, listen, sorry. I am like the bonus auntie here, and you've got to answer these questions, and we've got to have a little, you're coming to Jesus. I'll totally do it. There are a lot of ways that you can look for certain things, look for certain behaviors, and see how they respond to certain stimuli. I can talk. There, you can see how they're going to respond in a relationship if you kind of know how to test them and do the right things. And my poor husband of 18 years and 19 years together, bless his heart, I tested him relentlessly because I was, even though I was open to the relationship, I was terrified of getting dumped again. I was terrified of getting left high and dry with kids again. I was terrified of letting my kids see that again and experience that again. And so I tested him. But you know something? it was the best thing ever because I knew how he was going to react. And that has helped us in so many ways because we'll even look back and be like, oh, no, wait. No, I knew you were going to say that because you remember that time. And he's like, oh, yeah, no, I don't remember that. And sometimes it means not being your best self at the beginning of the relationship, being your real self, and kind of, if you have an asshole day, be an asshole and say, I have asshole days, and see how they respond, and let them know at the beginning of the relationship, I've got a lot of things, but just because you're in tow with me doesn't mean they're yours. There are rules, there are limits, we need to talk about them. These are things that, something are healthy things to talk about, and are healthy limits, and I know that you would probably give anybody the shirt off your back and the last penny you had, but it's great to put those boundaries up first and see how they respond. It's like buying a horse. You want to watch that person go and halter that horse, lead it to the barn, saddle it, and mount it cold backed. You don't want to show up and he's already riding it and the horse is worked into a lather and you don't know what he's went through to get there. Because I bet you that horse, that might just be Satan. I bought a few Satans in my time. So, no, seriously, if you need help, I will totally help profile. I'm good at it. It's what I do. At the same time, I don't want anyone to ever know I've done it. That's the catch. I'm glad you make that first too. That's stare at some of the music. I love this stick. I wouldn't touch it because it's got a note rope on it. I can't stand snakes. But whoever did that is freaking talented, man. And I need me a new walking stick because something, the fat girl sticks, fat girl pins they make for crippled fat girls, they're not attractive.
I had a lot of fun tonight. I went to Dave & Buster's and missed every goddamn, I suck at basketball.
I suck at most sports. I would go to Chuck E. Cheese and lose my ever-loving mind because skee-ball is not my thing, but I love it. I would role model some very poor behavior for children there. That's okay. They weren't my kids. That was so mean of me to say. But I love that. Whoever made that, that's the most beautiful hand-carved cane that I've seen in a long time. Snakes are not my thing, but I can see the artistry, and I thought that was beautiful.
What? I don't know. I haven't flipped that life page yet. I'm about to. We'll find out when we get there.
Okay. Where to go? I ain't gonna fit in that car. That car is not fat girl approved. Couldn't do that if I wanted to. I'd choke kill myself. I have a bad left lung from pepper spray. It's a whole nother story. Okay, so we're getting into the pictures now, and the guy ends. He does really good videos. I like how he kind of patches stuff together. He doesn't try to sway. He just shows what Ryan posts through the week. I was caught off guard by the single thing because I had two thoughts on this. I thought things were really either going very well, and they had bonded into a unit and had wanted their own space and bought a home, and that's why the move had been made. Or things were going horrible, and they had needed space to see if they were going to be able to make it work, and that's why they had moved in to promote bonding. But I could see in his eyes the absolute love for that little girl, and so my heart breaks because, whether you give birth to a child or not, once your heart envelops them and loves them, they're yours. I mean, it hurts. So I know he's hurting. I know he's going through a lot. I know it's probably based on the kid. And don't stop allowing love to come into your life because it hurt this time. But there are some things that you can do. I'm not trying to be rude, and if you were sitting across the table from me, I'd still say it. I'm built that way. My mama says that I did not come with a backspacer or delete key. But I think perhaps you're fishing in the wrong pond. And maybe when you're baiting your hook, you're over baiting. Sometimes you might need to offer a rooster tail instead of a night crawler. And sometimes you might say, you're never going to get my hula popper until I know you love me the way I love you. Now, if you fish, you understand that. But I think there are some definite hiccups that are happening at the onset of the relationships that leads to mixed emotions, or it doesn't establish the correct hierarchy. It doesn't establish the correct protocol, the rules, the contract at the beginning. And so things get fuzzy 6 to 8 months in. is 6 to 8 months is the emotional time frame where the honeymoon's over, and that's where the crap hits the fan and you have to really sort through stuff. So if y'all have been having problems for about the 6 to 8 month mark through now, that's what happened. We hit the over the money honeymoon phase and the real issues hit, and we couldn't get through those. That's because at the beginning of the relationship, the appropriate steps did not take place. And it's not anything you're doing wrong. It's things that you're doing backwards, or words you're not speaking even though you're feeling the emotions. It's, it's not that you're wrong. It's that perhaps you're not as open and you're not having the dialogue that you need to have, and you're not saying the words that you're thinking, but you're saying the words that you think somebody's wanting to hear. I'm really good at, hey, let's say the words that we need to get out of our head, because it doesn't help us unless we empty. And if we are just saying what we think they want to hear, then they're not listening to us. They're listening to this person that we created for them. And that person's not going to be around very long, because something, that's too much work. So let's let people learn the real us. Let's set it up at the beginning. Let's put the limits at the beginning. Let's put the hard no's at the beginning. And let's work through it from there. So sometimes in a relationship, you have to go backwards to go forward. And I would love to talk to you more about that. You may not want to ever speak to me or know that I exist, but I would love to say, here's some hiccups, because there's a few things I would like to talk to you about that I see as red flags that I would not ever speak about on the internet. It's just not it's not appropriate, it's not proper, and it's not a dialogue that I would want you to have with somebody else because I laid the groundwork for it. That would make me feel really craptastic, and I wouldn't want to do that to you. But there are some things happening that I'm like, I see something, but that is a discussion that I can only have with him. That is a decision to talk about that needs to be in private. That is not a YouTube discussion. And that's why I'm so kind of open, and I say, yes, even though I'm saying this about Ryan, I'm saying it to everybody else, because it's really for everyone. But I do see more specific things. Some that I think are very important, and that I would love to talk to you about. I don't want your time. I don't want your time. I don't want your friendship. I don't want your money. I want you to be happy. And if 8 minutes of my mouth and the education that I had to suffer through for all those years could help you be happy, that's all that I want. So I don't want you to think like I'm trying to bait you into this, because I'm sure you could go through life and have a fine life without even thinking about MommaLiz out there in the wild yonder. But there's a couple things that I see that I think if you acknowledge them and got to dealing with them, working with them, you would see a lot change in your world. And I would love for you to experience that change and experience that happiness. But like I said, it's not for the internet. So that's about as far as I can go on this one, because I'm not about to put somebody's potential business out on YouTube. So everybody should have been able to have gotten some kind of relationship advice from this. It should have hit you somewhere, somehow, something that you can go, oh, I've done that, or oh, no, I need to do that, or oh, yeah, I need to make sure I am treating myself like the person that I am. I'm the breadwinner, I own the house, I sleep in the bed, and I don't allow myself to be removed or unseated or dethroned for anyone. At the same time, you have to have healthy, expectations and healthy parameters with people. It's a very, very delicate teeter-totter scenario when you're in a relationship. And buddy, you know how hard those teeter-totters go when the other party gives up on you. That's why it hurts so bad to be in a bad relationship. It is painful. If you can find the balance and you can identify the things in your life that are causing you to miss the balance, then the world becomes a much brighter, happier place. And I would hate to think that people would stop themselves from experiencing love and the absolute support and freedom that love can give you out of fear of something that happened in the past, or fear of something that maybe has happened a couple times now that you think is now just your pattern. It doesn't have to be. So I hope this has enlightened somebody, a few people, somebody else. But I just want everybody to be happy. and I want people that impact my life to be happy, and so that's why I'm doing this on Ron. He impacts my life on the really, really sucky days with my health issues. I can get my head out of my body where it's hurting, and I can get it onto the music and change the way that I attack the day just from his words and his music. So this is my way of saying that this is about the only way I can repay you. So this is what I see. This is what I feel. And yeah, there's more, but you're under no obligation to wonder what that is if you don't want to. If you want to know, I'm sure you know how to find me. But I want to help you reach a better plane of existence, because the last couple years have not been good for you, and you deserve better. Everyone deserves happiness. Everyone deserves to be loved, feel loved, and to love themselves. And if you don't do those things, that's what you need to work on. Not your career, not someone else, yourself. You should be priority number one every day that you're on this earth. So, MommaLiz, aka Jesus in the house, is now going to wash off all this makeup and cuddle the dogs. I have a new foster chihuahua. I will introduce him later. And then I'm going to hit the hay because it's freaking cold on the plateau, and I don't know who shook the snow globe that could just stop. MommaLiz out.